So my name is Paul Wright. I've co-founded an organisation called Multibox, and we produce insects for the livestock feed market. My brother, one of the executive directors of the organisation, actually studied at the Royal Agricultural University, and he discovered, I think by way of a seminar or a lecture, what the future of agriculture was going to be. And I think at that time something like alternative proteins came up, and he spent a good part of that week trying to establish what that was and what that looked like. And insects was a hot topic at the time. The European Union only allowed insect protein to be used in fish feed last year, July 2017. And so it sort of seemed right in 2016 to enter the market. I was still at university up in Lincoln during that period. I was kind of working on my final year of my degree and starting up this operation. And it was around the same kind of time that I was finishing up, around March, April, that we realised that Farm 491 was building a facility and opening a facility later that summer in Harn Hill. And it seemed ideal to go to an organisation like Farm 491, where they provide support, they provide a community, they provide a co-sharing space. It was much better to go to a place like that than it was to go to some business park outside of Bath, where I'm based. I think it's imperative. I really do. If you look at my industry in particular, livestock feed is made up of lots of different components, and some of these are palm oil, soy meal, which is the protein of the soy plant, and fish meal. And specifically, if you look at the economics and where we're going in terms of the stocks available for those products, we're running out of resources. So a lot of soy is produced where deforestation is rife. There will come a point where we can no longer deforest and no longer grow soy, and you've reduced biodiversity of different organisms. And it's the same with fish meal. You're taking sardines, pilchards, krill, anchovies, sand eels out of the very bottom of the food supply chain in the oceans, bringing that on shore and feeding it to farmed fish. There are so many better ways to deal with those problems, and one of them is the circular economy, whereby we can take food residues, feed that to insects, and then turn that insects into a livestock feed, thereby not replenishing those ocean stocks, replenishing the biodiversity on land and all the rest of it. And you can already see it today. There is a huge amount of money flowing to places other than the United Kingdom who are pioneering these technologies, and if we don't act today, we will be left behind. And specifically, we're looking at the North American markets, places in the Middle East and Far East Asia. And specifically, those are closed environment agriculture. So hydroponics, aeroponics, vertical farming, insect farming, things that can make use of the land better than we currently do it. There will still always be a place for organic, free-range products. I'm not saying that everyone goes vegan or vegetarian. I'm just saying that more can be done to avert the risks of overconsumption in those regards. So on that kind of note as well, you can look at petri dish meat or what the term fake meats, where they're produced from vegetable crop to look like actual protein burgers and things like that. That is a real market, and it would be almost folly to ignore the growing trend of these different milks and all the rest of it. I really do think that we can do more, and we should be doing more. If they have an idea, there's no harm in trying to pursue the idea. If you're still someone with relatively low amounts of responsibility, there's no mortgage payments, there's no children, there's no sort of familial ties or a career that you're trying to pursue, there's no better time to start a business than today. And you're only going to increase the value of your future tomorrow. So you can get an investor, if you're lucky, to pay for a salary, and at the same time develop a business that gives you an equity option that could pay dividends, or you have an exit. And that is worth a lot more to someone than, say, 30,000 today and finishing on 80,000 at the end of your career. I really think if you're looking at it from a purely financial aspect and a value creation, you should do it. And there's you're only going to get told no, and there's no harm in that.